Hey girl, let's talk crime. So tonight we will be diving into the heartbreaking case of 2-year-old Skylar Gardner out of Indianapolis, Indiana. So I do want to let you guys know that this case does involve the abuse of a child as well as the death of a child. And if that is something that is triggering to you, I ask you to not watch the video. And I thank you guys for your support, but I ask you not to like it either, as your mental health is more important than likes. On January 25th, 2025, around 6:30 p.m., the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department responded to a distress call that came from the Timber Point apartment that was located in the 6300 block of Newberry Road. When authorities arrived, they were met with 33-year-old Chantel Gardner, who reported that she had found her 2-year-old daughter, Skylar Gardner, unresponsive underneath a dresser that had fallen on top of her, and she was declared dead at the scene. So upon further investigation, authorities had stated that the home was absolutely horrific. They had actually considered it a biohazard with an overwhelming stench of feces and urine. So the floors were covered in human feces as well as garbage and debris. There were feces that were smeared on the walls, on the floor, and there was also furniture that had been overturned. So a medical examination did reveal multiple injuries on Skylar's body, and Chantel had a story that we will get to in a moment, but there were bite marks on Skylar. There were bruises on her arms, on her legs, on her genitals. She had signs of frostbite that were on her hands and feet. And then there was also a puncture wound to the back of her neck that authorities believed happened due to bites from rodents after Skylar had died. So Chantel had admitted that she had left her children, 2-year-old Skylar, as well as Skylar's brother, who was 3 years old, multiple times over a period of time since October 2024. So she would go and stay with a boyfriend who they named Brian Thomas, and it started out just like a few hours at a time that she would leave them alone, and then it became an overnight thing, and then it became days at a time. Now, she did tell them that she would bring food back and that they could climb onto the counters to be able to access the water that was there for them. In some of the reports that I found, it stated that her son would smear feces on the walls and she just thought that it was a phase, and so she would clean it up. And then it got to a point where she was just tired and she was overwhelmed and she did not care anymore. Initially, she was charged with neglect, and now she, rightfully so, faces charges of murder as well as neglect resulting in serious bodily injury. And then her boyfriend, Brian Thomas, has also been indicted on 2 counts of assisting a criminal. This is because he was accused of providing false information to hinder the investigation. The documents that I read, he had lied, and he admitted to investigators that he lied, stating that she would bring over the children throughout the week multiple times to stay with her at his home. And then he said that it was maybe one time, and then he said towards the end, like the last few months, that it wasn't at all. He said that she would state that other people would have them, and that he would not question her because she's the mom, and that he just did not want her to get in trouble, which is why he lied to authorities. Skylar Gardner was also showing signs of hypothermia, and then she also had feces and paint chips in her stomach. Chantel told police that her absence became a normal thing for her children because when she left, that they would no longer cry. Her 3-year-old son also showed signs of food deprivation as well as being weak, and he was extremely shaky. According to my case, she does have a pretrial scheduled for April 2nd and then a jury trial scheduled for April 8th at 8:30 a.m.